I was stunned by like how many different ways you can paint an ox, and just the
Yeah, yeah,
variety, the
yeah.
different colors, the different styles, and seeing them all together was just another really special thing, actually.
Get radio breakfast with Rich Smith.
All this week we've been catching up with the amazing artists who have been decorating the oxen that have been around Oxfordshire for Sober House Hospice and their OxTrail. Loads of people have been taking on the OxTrail, downloading the app, buying the stuffed toys and seeing the shop. But now we're kind of chatting to artists and finding out their inspiration and just their journey about creating it and the thought processes behind it. Really looking forward to our next guest. This is multimedia artist Rawz from Greater Lee. Morning, mate. How are you?
Yeah, morning, Rich. How are you, mate? Good,
I'm
good.
I'm real good. I'm real
What?
good. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to hear about this, about your design for the Oxford and this inspiration, because I have to be honest. This is the first one when we did the launch event at Mini.
Yeah.
It was the first one that I was drawn to. I saw it
Oh,
first, and I kind of went up to it, and I was like, "Wow, what's going on with this?" So that's my little
oh,
honest opinion. So I've
oh,
got
well, thank you. That's a great endorsement there.
but
Yeah, man. So basically my motivation was I wanted to reinterpret the skyline of Oxford. Because I've grown up in Oxford, I've lived here all my life, and
mm,
most of it spent in the Leas, which is, maybe listeners don't know, maybe they do, but the Leas is among one of the most deprived areas in the country, and in the 10% most deprived in the country. Um, and that means all sorts of things around child poverty and fuel poverty and all of those sort of things. Um, and I think when people see Oxford, when they think about Oxford, they think about the kind of the opposite of that. They think about the dream inspires and all the privilege and the fame of the university and all of that kind of stuff. Whereas the Oxford that I know is really opposite to that. And I didn't even really know Oxford was a famous place until I was like in my teens. So that I'm not really connected to that side of Oxford, or haven't been for most of my life.
mm,
Um, and so I wanted to make people kind of look at that skyline in a different way and look a bit deeper into it. So the idea of the Ox is that the different shapes that make up the skyline, but also the sky as well. They kind of represent the different lives and the different ideas that are present in the city, and the way they fit together kind of makes the city what it is, basically.
no, 100%. I mean, just to sort of go into sort of it's hard to do on radio to describe exactly,
Yeah,
but it you have the dreaming spires, but it's sort of cut up with kind of the shapes and kind of the tapestry that you mentioned. To
mm,
make these dreaming spires, you need all of those things put together to make them look as beautiful as they do. And I
absolutely.
I guess a representation of the culture of everything coming together in a great way has happened just recently, not too far away from your good self, with the Cowley Road Carnival back on
Yeah,
Sunday.
yeah,
An
yeah.
absolute explosion of color, of music, and of people getting together and good vibes.
Hmm.
I guess maybe that's kind of like flowing into that ox a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And like, yeah, I mean, that for me, like, that is Oxford. That's the Oxford that I know. And Cowley Road Carnival on Sunday was a real celebration of that, and it was so good to see it back after 5 years missing. But yeah, I always used to tell people visiting the city, if you want to see what Oxford's really like, go to Cowley Road. Um,
Yeah,
and yeah,
agreed.
it's
Agreed.
it's always been one of my favorite places in Oxford. It's changing, but I think Cowley Road Carnival was such a good again. It's just such a good thing to be present
Mm.
there again, and just sort of, yeah, it really felt like, yeah, this is Oxford. This is what it's about.
And just sort of on a little bit of a wider note, I mean, again, I keep sort of looking at the oxen that you managed to paint, and we've spoken to a lot of artists about how the hell you paint a giant oxen that's
Yeah,
basically nearly 6 foot long and a couple of foot high. I mean, it's absolutely
yeah.
crazy. How did you go about it?
Oh well, yeah. I mean, so it was like because when we were submitting the designs, probably other artists have said this. When we were submitting the designs, obviously we did them in 2D.
Mm,
They were
yeah.
just on a on a flat bit of paper. So then translating that onto a 3D Ox it was an interesting challenge. And I can remember thinking like, I wonder if you were to like flatten out this Ox, actually how much surface area it is. Yeah, I
Mm.
think it would make quite a sizable wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me it was I did it with paint pens, like different size paint pens, and yeah, it took, I think altogether spread over the course of about 3 weeks, it took
Yeah.
like 9, 10 to 12 hour days of kind of
Wow.
just drawing the shapes and filling them in, and
Yeah. Wow.
it was great actually because I really enjoyed. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention my sponsor on radio,
Go for it. Why not? Go
yeah,
for it.
but my sponsor SSL, they were so hospitable. Actually, painted the Ox in their reception area,
Amazing.
and and actually had a lovely time like chatting to their receptionist too. She's a lovely lady, and yeah, and
Brilliant.
so it was just a really beautiful experience because I'm a musician as well. So an SSL, they make top end studio equipment. So just being in, having that opportunity as well, as it was such a bonus to like be in this place that makes like some amazing gear that I've always
Yeah.
been a fan of.
Yeah.
Not to sound like I'm advertising them too much, but
No. Yeah,
it was genuinely great. Yeah.
The guys at SSL are absolutely amazing, and the equipment is absolutely glorious and very expensive as well. But
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, good sound comes at a good price. And just finally, Rawz, the kind of when submitting your design and when seeing, because you've obviously probably seen all of the Oxen that have done the rounds and what have you. Are you amazed? Because I am at how completely diverse they all are. There's not one that you kind of go, no, that looks a little bit like that one. It's like they're all from every walk. I mean, your sort of design, sort of. I don't want to dismiss it by saying it that with the skyline, it looks like the Doodle Man. I think if we all get that.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But are you kind of surprised by the kind of the variety of all of them?
Yeah. Oh, definitely, man. Like because so I painted my Ox. I think I finished it at the end of April, and then it was sent off to be varnished by BMW, and then so then it was a couple of months. I think it was like June or maybe even early July when I saw it again, when we had the launch event at BMW, and to see all of the Oxes together there was just like, yeah, it was I was stunned by like how many different ways you can paint an Ox, you know, and just the variety, the different colors, you know, the different styles, and seeing them all together was just another really special thing actually. Which I'm really glad that there's another opportunity to do it this weekend as well.
I
really recommend people come and see it. I'll let you share the details.
I think we're going to do it at the same time. But yeah, absolutely. Head down to the Westgate this weekend, both on Saturday and Sunday, and you can see all of the Oxen. We do mean all of the Oxen in the massive herd just outside John Lewis. We're going to be down there as well. So make sure you come and see them. And you can literally just basically see exactly what we've talked about. Where can we find out a little bit more information about you and all of your art and what's going on with you, mate?
Yeah, well, you can find me on social media, of course. On Instagram, it's Rawz_official. That's RAWZ_official. On Facebook, it's Real Rawz. Or you can check out my website, which is still slightly under construction, but it's rawzcreates.com. So yeah, and I'll be glad to hear from you.
Awesome stuff. Rawz, it's been a great pleasure catching up with you. The Oxen is incredible and absolutely awesome. And thanks so much for joining us on the show this morning.
Nice one, Rich.